Welcome back to day 4 on faithfulness. We hope you're enjoying this week of prayer.
Who's going to be our amazing high school student today?
I don't know. They just have amazing stories and we get to teach them.
I hope it's one of your children.
It's game time.
What are we going to play today?
It's a new one called What's the Word?
RAA edition.
Woohoo!
What's the word?
The scripture for today is Matthew 25:21.
The master was full of praise. Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling a small amount. So now I'll give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together.
And now it's time for our surprise guest with our high school campus ministries. I wonder who it'll be.
Hey, welcome back to another RAA Campus Ministries Live. I'm here with one of my top students. Yes, he's taller, but I'm wider. That's right, yes I am. Mr. Micah Brooks. Thank you so much for being on our show today, Micah.
It is a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, man, this is great. How tall are you? I know that's what the people at home want to know.
I am 6'2.5" the last time I checked.
How tall are you with the flat top? Does that add about, that's about a 3-inch flat top right there,
Yeah,
buddy.
it usually adds like a few inches, but what's funny is like I don't think a lot of people realize this about how my hair works specifically. It's a lot more like in the front than it actually is. Like if you press down on my head, there's literally nothing.
Nothing there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's very good. That's news that people need to use in their future. Actually, they shouldn't. They should not try to touch down on your head.
Yes, please don't. That's actually been something I've been experiencing since 4th grade. Random kids will just show up, ask to touch my hair. It's weird. It's like I don't mind it a lot. It's just it's gotten to the point where it's just
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Micah, how long have you been a student here at Redlands Adventist Academy?
I have been going here for 10 years. I started in kindergarten.
Wow.
Been here since my freshman year.
Wow,
Or-
that
which
is
now.
a long time. And all that time, you had to have some really good experiences, some really great memories. Tell me, what's one of the best memories you've had since you've been a student here at RAA?
Best memory would probably be 4th grade. I got to be in the Christmas concert. I remember it was called Rapping All the Way. I did a whole Christmas rap for like one of the songs.
Whoa.
And at
Do you
the
remember
end-
any of the lines from that Christmas rap? Can you spit a rhyme? Just
Okay. Wait. Okay. No. I thought I had it.
It was there. It was on the tip of your tongue?
It was there for a second. It's something like Christmas time is always here, and that's all I remember.
That's all you remember. And that part doesn't even rhyme. So it's like not even the best part of the song.
It's hard to
But you
come up
remember the
with a rhyme.
experience. The experience was awesome being up on the stage.
Yes, it was amazing. My dad filmed the entire thing. Just like being able to perform, especially just for something for Christmas, was really dope.
Yeah. And certainly you all will be experiencing that in your future too. So basically you're giving a shout out to our music program and these kids should try out those type of things, shouldn't they?
Absolutely. If you get the chance, 100%, I suggest you do it. It's a lot of fun.
Very, very good. So what are some of the extracurricular things that you like to do in your spare time? Sports, music, what do you like to do? Talk to me.
I've been doing a lot recently, which is funny because when I started quarantine, I didn't expect that I would still be doing like much of anything, but like soccer, I was doing volleyball back when we were still practicing that. Campus ministries is something I'm doing right now. And then there's also, well, I don't know if I already said this, but soccer practices, which
Yeah.
is something I'm going to right after this. So it's quite a bit. And I'm also like part of my student government. I was just like a religious VP for that. So it's just a lot.
A lot going on, keeping yourself busy.
Definitely.
Well, Micah, our theme for this week is faithfulness and faith for our elementary week of prayer. And so I really thank you for taking the time to come in and get into a little bit of the nitty gritty with faith. So here are some tough hitting questions for you. First one, what does or what has faith meant to you?
Hey, so when it comes to faith, it's been something that's always been like taught to me. Like my parents have always been like, this is something you should be able to grow in yourself from like even when I was little. Like I'd heard a bunch of stories about faith. There's like for the mustard seed story, which if you haven't heard it, is like you have the faith of a mustard seed. If you plant the mustard seed in the ground, it grows to become a giant tree. And that's supposed to represent your faith. And I've heard that like a bunch of times. And so it's always been something that's kind of like, I'm at the point where it's kind of ingrained in me. So
Right.
I already can like give a quick answer if something is related to faith.
Right.
Not all the time, but I have to be in like a certain headspace. But
That's right. Okay, very good. Well, how about this then? When was there a time in your own life when you did have faith?
a time when I had faith.
Yeah.
So I think the best example was related to what I said before with the whole fourth grade Christmas concert.
Yeah.
Is because the year before I had debated on whether or not I actually wanted to do it.
Okay.
It looked like a lot of fun, but I was actually like afraid that I wouldn't even get chosen. I wouldn't have any chances to actually do it.
Right.
And then in fourth grade, I decided, you know what? I'm going to have faith in my own abilities and that this is something that I would enjoy doing right now. I auditioned and I got the part, which another funny story, when I was trying out, I did not realize I was trying out for a girl's part. Because in the original audio, it's a girl. The girl is the main character. It's a girl on the front of the script.
Uh-huh.
So I went home that day after the audition. I believe my mom and a family friend was there. And I was like, hey, I tried out for the Christmas concert today. And it's like, oh, cool. Who'd you try out for? I said, I tried out for Tansy. My family friend is just in the kitchen just like, you understand that's a girl, right? And I was adamant that it could be either way. It's like, nah, there's no way.
It's either gender name. It's
Exactly.
Gender inclusive name.
And
Could be
get
a guy,
the
could be a girl.
and get the part. Look at the script. It's just all very clear that it is a girl. It's supposed to be a girl's part. So that I'm imagining Mr. Bello is just like watching me try to play this clearly meant to be female character, and just like, this kid is crazy. But hey, I got the part, so I was doing something right, I guess.
So he had to change all the script and make it into a guy's part.
I mean, the script in and of itself was like, it was fine for either way, so it could work as a girl's part or a boy's
Okay.
part. It was meant to be a girl's part simply because like there was a lot of she's there. But there were a lot of stuff that actually changed that year. Like it was initially supposed to be a king, a Christmas king. It was King Dazzlebaum. Got switched to Queen Dazzlebaum.
Okay.
I was supposed to have a brother who was played by Phil Epoxy.
Okay.
Which, if you've seen both of us, you know that
One of you was adopted. In
yeah,
that
it was
brotherhood.
not going to be believable. So that got changed to we've been friends for a while, not actually related.
Okay.
Philip was also supposed to be my little brother.
Right.
Which he's actually older than me by like 2 months. So a lot of stuff got
Changed in there.
changed that year.
Okay, very good. How about this? When did your faith with something small put you in charge of something big? You know, they talk about faith where you have that small faith. You were given this small thing to take charge of. You took charge of it well. Like you took charge of that thing well, and then you were entrusted with something even more. When did that happen for you?
Okay, so for those who haven't known me for that long, I played the drums. I've been playing the drums since I think either first or second grade. I got a drum set for Christmas, and I've been practicing and playing ever since then. And so when I was first starting out, like this was actually a few years after I had first started playing, I was asked to play for my church. Right. Now, since my dad was the pastor, and he knew all the musicians, I would sometimes just sit up there on stage and listen to the actual drummer play some of the songs.
Wow.
And I'm gonna be honest, I still am not the most faithful when it comes to practicing on a regular basis. Like, I still have like practices weekly where I have a whole drum teacher. We have these sessions that we do each week. But like me personally, I'm not the best at sticking to it.
Okay.
Which is like me playing here now is kind of like replacement for me when I would have practiced at home.
Okay.
So that's actually really dope. But the first thing I was asked to do when it came to playing music at my church was children's story.
Right.
So every day or every Sabbath, right after the opening song, it would be children's story. So I would go through this back room. So like the stage is like in front of the church. It's a small building. So I would go down this side pew, and there's this room that connects the outside or like the sanctuary area to like this place where teenagers would have Sabbath school.
Right.
So I would go through there, go up the stairs to the stage, and sneak behind the singers and sit in a seat right next to the drummer.
Right.
And I would sit there when the opening music is over. We would switch spots, and I would play.
Wow.
And that, like, the first few times, I was absolutely terrified. I did not think I'd be able to keep a beat. I think I'd keep missing stuff,
Right.
and, like, they wouldn't want me to play anymore. But I was able to do it. And then over time, I was doing it weekly while also, funny enough, doing audio stuff.
Yeah.
So that was my weekly routine for at the beginning of the service was going up there, playing the drums, going back down, and sitting in the audio booth for the rest of the service.
Right.
And so years later, it took a while. My mom at the time, or I think she still is in charge of our children's choir.
Okay.
And so she asked me to play for the entire service.
Wow.
And at this time, I had only been playing children's story.
Right.
And so doing only one part of the service to the entire thing
Right.
was a huge leap from where I was to where I was then.
Right.
And thankfully, those years of me practicing then had built up my fancy word alert repertoire. I
Oh.
think that's French or something. Of skills related to drumming,
Yeah.
which made it that much easier to play for an entire service. So yeah, me starting out with not knowing a bunch, but knowing the basics,
Yes.
led to me being able to play for an entire service.
That's exactly right. So, would you say for the kids at home, like that kind of, that kind of thing can be possible in their life? They're given this small little thing. Hey, the drum for this little bit, or it might be something else. Sing for this little bit, and then over the course of time, if they're faithful in that smaller thing, they're going to be blessed with something even bigger to take care of. For you, it was that whole church service. Now it's one of our main drummers for our campus ministries praise team, and I'm sure you're doing many more. In fact, I know of at least one youth pastor who's asked you to play for their church, and you're not even a church member at their church.
I was asked to play for a youth service at Mount Rubidoux, and I brought my own drum set out there, set that up the night before, and played for the entire service.
Yeah.
So that was another example.
So it's
little
super
collab.
exciting to see how your faith can kind of build on itself.
Absolutely.
Last question is this: why should these Redlands Adventist Academy students? Why should they put their faith in God? Why should they put their faith in Jesus?
Okay, so I'm trying to think of a good example, and then I'm going to say an actual thing. So, I'm sure these kids have heard of the song of this guy. Sorry, I'm going to flow up the lyrics, but one of them builds his house on the sand, and one of them builds it on a rock.
Yeah, the wise man builds his
House upon the rock. Exactly.
Yeah, that one.
So the oceans come, the house in the sand absolutely destroyed, but
Yeah.
the one on the rock remains firm, and
Yeah.
it stays there.
Yeah.
Which is the best example I could think of on a short notice for how your faith can work, which is just if you have faith in God,
Yeah.
He will lead you through paths that at the time may seem impossible. If you would ask me like 5 years ago if I would be playing for like even in high school, if I'd be doing it in front of people like on a regular basis, I would have thought you were absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to do anything like that until like I was at least an adult.
Right.
And so the fact that I was able to do it while I'm still a teenager
Yes.
is absolutely huge.
Right, it's
to me.
mind-blowing.
Yeah, exactly. And so being able to believe in God and yourself to improve something that you do now is going to lead to hundreds upon hundreds of opportunities that you can have in the future.
Wow. Micah, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us on Campus Ministries Live.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it's great. Hey, kids, you heard it here from one of the tallest kids that we have on the campus, so it must be true. This is the freshman class religious vice president. He's a member of my Campus Ministries team. He's on the praise team, so what he said must be true.
Yes.
If you have small faith, it can balloon and grow into something huge. If you put your trust in God now, when the storms come, your house built on the rock will stand. Well, that's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed my interview here on Campus Ministries Live with Micah. My question for you is this. Who do you think I got for tomorrow? Ooh. It only counts if you yell it out right now. You got to yell it out loud because I know tomorrow you're going to say, I knew it, I knew it. No, but it only counts if you say it out loud right now. Who is my guest going to be tomorrow? That's all the time we have, guys. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching and for praising God with us.
We'll see you tomorrow.